The TCR International Series is back in Europe and ready to provide more spectacular action. The first two rounds were held alongside the Formula One World Championship in Bahrain, with race one firing off into the floodlit Sakir circuit. As expected, the racing was fierce and frantic from the start. Champion Stefano Comini causing chaos, eliminating his teammates in this clash. Comini didn't fare much better on Sunday either, in his new Leopard Racing Volkswagen. Whilst teammate Jean Calvinet was black flags for this damage. At the front though, the Craft Bamboo low coils with Pepe Oriola took both wins, a perfect start to his title challenge.
Leading the team championship, so perfect for us the first weekend, yes.
We have a gap, and then we know that, and we have to work to improve our performance.
Everything was okay because it was my debut in TCR, and also I have no experience with front-wheel drive car.
Main problem is that I could not accelerate out of the corner, so I need to wait the straight line and then push the throttle.
The car is new, so Bahrain for us was the first experience, and it was not easy, I have to say.
Estoril in Portugal is a very different environment for rounds 3 and 4 of the series, and with the cars only recently returning from the Middle East, the teams were hard at work to get prepared for the second weekend's action. Success ballasts for Oriola, James Nash and Dusan Borkovic. The talking point is Volkswagen, who will be 30 kilograms lighter than the opening weekend.
The Volkswagen, I know that it's a good car. I know that it's almost the same as the Seat.
I think Volkswagen had a great potential. Of course, Seat car more developed.
Returning to the championship after starring in Singapore and Thailand last year, Loris Heisemans is happy to be back.
I've always been into touring car racing, really like the wheel-to-wheel action. So that was one of the reasons to come back this season.
Hoping to improve on his opening weekend in the TCR International Series is David Kajia. The Georgian wasn't afraid to get stuck in, fighting in Bahrain to his best result of 4th in race 2. But where has the Volkswagen racer come from?
In 2015, I became champion of ETCC with BMW car in TC2T class. And now I am here.
I think it's good to have a strong teammate in a couple, because you can learn from each other something. In some corners he is faster, in some corners I am faster, so we can step forward together.
When David isn't on track, his life at home is very different.
I'm a policeman. Also, the Ministry of Internal Affairs is my sponsor. I have two sponsors: Ministry Internal Affairs and Express Bank of Georgia, Express Bank. It's very strong support for my country, and I am proud for this, because we have a small country, and for our country it is a very big championship and a very good championship. Yeah.
Qualifying began under sunny skies on a warm afternoon in Estoril, and it was championship leader Pepe Oriola who set the benchmark of a 49.231 early in the session, despite limited track time during practice. Halfway through Q1, the session was interrupted by Dusan Borkovic, who ended up in the middle of the track after this high-speed accident at turn 3.
I had really good rear tires with a good temperature, because we swapped from front to rear. I felt really good in the first corner, but suddenly I had that oversteer on the exit and I couldn't manage that, so I crashed. That's the racing.
With 10 minutes to go, there was still pressure on many to set a competitive lap time, but getting temperature into the rear tyres was proving perilous for some. Once up to speed, the time started to tumble. The aim was to be inside the top 12, but no one could match Oriola's opening lap time, Mato Homola coming closest. Despite driving on the limit, Michele Cerruti, in her pretty little Alfa, would be a Q1 casualty, alongside the developing Subaru of Luca Rangoni. Q2 began with the same challenges as Q1, this time Pepe Oriola drifting towards doom as his rears scrabbled for grip. Whilst he was still warming up, Sam had already bolted Aku Penelin and Matto Homola, taking second and first respectively on their second lap out of the pits. And the gauntlet was set at 1:48.518. Lighter for this round, the Leopard Racing Volkswagens also looked strong. Jean-Carl Venet took third spot, 3.5 tenths back. And his teammate Stefano Camini came across Loris Hazemans on his fast lap, but the Swiss driver was still able to take a spot beside his teammate on row 2 for race 1. Championship leader Oriola struggled. Right on track until the end, the Kraft Bamboo Seats could only manage 5th, 7th and 9th.
And I really thought that I could do pole position because I knew I did some mistakes in the flying lap. So I said to myself, like, if you don't do this, you maybe could go 2-3 tenths faster. Which I did it in Q2, but somehow the other drivers found 1 second from their pockets in less than 2 minutes.
Championship returnee Loris Hazemans will be on pole for race 2, while Matto Homola will be at the front for race 1. Pole for the Slovakian in only his second TCR start. That first lap on the limit.
Honestly, I'm very happy, and I'm surprised a little bit as well as the others. It didn't come to my mind in order to understand everything till now that I'm on the pole, but yeah, it's a great feeling. I would like to thank to my team. They've done an amazing job, amazing progress since Bahrain, where I wasn't so confident with the car, but now it's really great.
Good morning, everyone, from Estoril, round 3 of the TCR International Series. Here is the circuit then. Just over 4 kilometres in length, designed in 1974, the home of the Portuguese Grand Prix from 84 through to the mid-90s. Gianni Morbidelli has raced around here in a Formula 1 car. Thumbs up from him, and he lines up P2 alongside Matto Homola. Jean-Carl Venet and Stefano Camini make it an all-Volkswagen second row. The Leopold Racing team getting a weight break of 30 kilos, and therefore they are in row 2. Afanasiev and Pellenin, row 3. Pepe Ariola, your championship leader, row 4, alongside Kevin Gleeson. And then James Nash in 9th. We've seen Loris Hazemans in 10th position, and those missing out on the reverse grid effect for race 2, Attila Tassi and David Kajaya. They qualified into Q2 though, the top 12 going through. David Mikhail Grashov and Francisco Mora, and then Michele Cerruti and Luca Rangoni in the Subaru. Still with work to do in those 2 cars. And finally, Duka Borkovic at the back. But let's focus now on what is happening on track. The green flag is about to rise, and we are ready to get the lights out. Here we go, and that is at a stall from Gianni Morbidelli. It was a very, very slow start from the front row of the grid, and it's allowed Jean-Carl Venet to come up alongside Matto Homola. You've got Aku Penelin on the outside line, but Jean-Carl Venet has the inside line. Matto's going to get really squeezed, and Jean-Carl Venet's backed out of it. So he's dropped back down to 4th position. Good start from one of the Lukoil cars, trying to go round the outside, but Gianni Morbidelli, from a man who didn't really look like he had a good start at all, is now at the front of the field. Matto into 2nd position, Vernet 3rd, Aku Penelin trying to get in the inside to block off Stefano Camini, but couldn't make it stick there. I think he might have done it on the exit of the turn. He has. He slots into 4th position. Still trying to sort each other out further back. Pepe Ariola down the inside of James Nash. Nash covers him off. They're still trying to tiptoe around this circuit. Not quite sure how much temperature and therefore grip they have from their Michelin tyres, but at the same time trying to race hard. Attila Tassi's further back. It's Dukan Borkovic actually, who is in that B3 racing car, who is already up to 10th position. An amazing start from Dusan Borkovic. Here comes Matto Homola down the inside under braking for turn 1, and he claims the line and moves into 1st position ahead of Gianni Morbidelli. We're going to see that all the way through the race because there is a bit of a tailwind down into start. Oh, one of the cars off. One of the B3 racing cars is off in the background. Is that Attila Tassi? I think it might well be. Here is the move from Matto Homola. Perfect move. Bit of slipstream halfway down the straight, and then takes the position. Also one of the Lukoil Exler cars, running a little bit wide. Now with Kevin Gleeson is at the back of the field. We haven't seen where he is. There he is. Gleeson's in the pits. So Gleeson's got a problem with his car as Loris Hazemans takes to the grass. Michele Ceruti also creeping round. Looks like the Alfa Romeo may have a problem. Aku Penelin now on the defensive from Sergei Afanasiev. Afanasiev down the inside. This is for 5th position. Penelin locks the rears as he turns in, and that's invited the Russian down the inside. Now Penelin's really compromised himself, and he just about manages to shut the door ahead of James Nash. So claims 6th position back. Now Nash attacks. Ooh, is there enough space? There's a little bit of rubbing going on through turn 5. Still clean as you like racing, and Penelin has the inside line for the next turn. As we see a replay of David Kajaya running a little bit wide on the final corner. Bit of understeer, keeps the car facing the right direction. Don't think he lost any positions there. Kajaya 12th, as John Gentry looks to the inside of the little Alfa Romeo Giulietta. Nash looks to the inside of Penelin. And oh, that's disrupted Penelin's focus. He's run wide, and that's easy pickings once again in turn 1. James Nash moves up into 6th position. And Michele Ceruti back out onto circuit then to test that car a little bit further. There is Luca Rangoni being towed. Oh dear. He's lost. The whole front end of the car has collapsed. The steering on the left-hand side has gone, as you can see, and then steering, and then something popped off the right-hand side as well. Now, that was Dusan Borkovic running a little bit wide. Has that given Grashov an opportunity? It might well have done. Dives to the inside, claims the line. Lovely move from Mikhail Grashov. That was great driving. Honda now with a Yas-tuned engine rather than a Mugen-tuned engine. Here goes Gianni Morbidelli. A better line through that right-hand turn. Now flicks to the left-hand side to try and claim that. But the line doesn't open up for him. I mean, this is two completely different class of people. A 48-year-old with F1 World Touring Car experience against a 22-year-old who's just done 2 seasons of European touring cars. Yes, in this car, but not on these tyres. Now side by side. Mato Homola on the left of screen, Gianni Morbidelli on the outside on the right. And again, Gianni has found himself in the wrong part of the circuit. Can't find a way through around this back section. And it is inviting Jean-Carl Venet to the party as well. Venet fast on the last 2 laps. Here he comes now, Morbidelli, up the inside of that part of the chicane, but no way Mato Homola is going to allow them through. And Jean-Carl Venet now is going to have a nice drive through the right-hand turn, but it's not really an overtaking opportunity. Now it's 3 for the lead. Here's a replay. Morbidelli, just a little tap. A little bit of bodywork comes flying off. Wasn't intentional. Gets alongside, but then the circuit turns right. Morbidelli now to the inside of the left-hand turn, but Mato Homola knows that the next turn is right, so it's okay. It's more of a defensive move. Homola has the inside line for the next turn. And once again, oh, Morbidelli's trying to luck it out around the outside. This is going to work for him. Morbidelli has the inside line now, under brakes. And we have a change for the lead, or do we? They're still side by side. What great stuff, what great action. Homola now needs to switch to the left-hand side. And he does so. But Morbidelli, I think for the moment, has claimed it. Jean-Carl Venet wants a bit of a party of this action, and Stefano Camini's now going to be there. Now, what is Homola going to do? Is he going to do the same as what he did, he had done to him by Morbidelli? He may well do. A little touch from Venet. He's got the run down the inside for 2nd position. What a move from Jean-Carl Venet into 2nd. He's learning his TCR craft well, isn't he? And Mato Homola gets shuffled down. It's all going pear-shaped for him. There's a little tap from Jean-Carl Venet that just unsettled Mato Homola through the right-hander, and the chicane allowed Venet down the inside. Lovely move, and he got it stuck. You see, he dived down. He was far enough ahead here to claim the corner. Now Camini goes alongside Mato Homola for 3rd position. Poor old Mato. It's all going wrong for him. Still around the outside. This time Mato's got the inside line for turns 4. Camini's late on the brakes though. Ooh, can he get it into the apex? not quite, and Homela's still alongside him. Now Homela needs to ease him off the circuit. Homela's being very kind indeed, giving him plenty of racing room. And that has allowed Kamini down the inside to the next right-hand turn. And claims the position. Look at this. Little mistake from Homela, which invites Kamini up the inside. Kamini shuts the door on the exit. And then at the next turn, I'm not sure if there was contact. Oh, there was contact there, but that was a different lap, I think. Further back, Oriola, Heisemans, and Michel Grashov. Now that is far more aggressive. As we have a look at Dusan Borkovic, blimey, both of them super late under brakes. Grashov has lost 2 positions there. I wonder where Mora ended up in all of that, but that may well mean that Borkovic is now in the points at 10th. This is the championship fight starting now for the Italian. He took 2nd in the first race in Bahrain, but he's going to go 1 better here in Estoril. The checker flag awaits, and it is Gianni Morbidelli who takes victory in race 1 here in Estoril in the Honda. The first win for Honda this year, first win for West Coast. Applause from the pit wall. Here is the result then. Gianni Morbidelli, a 1 second advantage at the end ahead of Jean Calvinet and Stefano Kamini. Mato Homela, the pole man, dropping to 4th by the end. Sergei Afanasiev and James Nash 5th and 6th. Aku Penelin in the next Honda in 7th. Pepe Oriola, Loris Heisemans, and Francisco Mora picks up a point on his local track in 10th position.
Gianni Morbidelli, congratulations on your first victory of the year and a result you really needed.
Yes, I needed, my team needed, because they work hard. We were here, we had some problem with the power steering all through the weekend, so we solved that, and a victory, of course, it helps a lot now. We are all excited, we're all happy about this result, and that's good. That means that we are competitive, and we have to carry on in this way for the rest of the season.
So the trophy then, a nice large trophy presented by Carlos Gracia to Gianni Morbidelli. Win number 4 puts him equal on wins with Pepe Oriola, for 2nd in the all-time list. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Estoril once more for round 4 this time. Here is the grid then. Heisemans and Nash on the front row. Oriola has Aku Penelin alongside him, the first of the Hondas. And then we have Afanasiev and Kamini, Vernet, Morbidelli in 8th position. Equal now at the front of the field on points. And then down to 9th spot is Mato Homela and Attila Tassi. Now Homela should have been on 10th position, but we've had 2 drivers drop to the back of the field for breaking Parc Fermé regulations. They are Dusan Borkovic is at the back of the grid, dint of not qualifying at all. Kevin Gleeson out of Parc Fermé because he had an electronics problem. They've changed the loom on that car. Luca Rangoni in the Subaru had steering issues. Green flag at the back of the field. We are getting ready to go racing here in Estoril. Revs rise and away we go. A good start, or one of the from Loris Heisemans, who tries to cover the inside line. Aku Penelin is trying to get on the inside of James Nash, who sits on the inside line. Jean Calvinet's made a good start, as has Stefano Kamini. Kamini go around the outside into turn 1. He's going to be surely balked by that, and Nash it is who leads going through turn 2 then. Jean Calvinet has the inside line on Stefano Kamini and takes 2nd position. Kamini slots into 3rd, but they're still side by side. Great watching from Pepe Oriola, who brakes hard and slides himself into turn 4. Bit of contact between the 2 Volkswagens. Aku Penelin has been unceremoniously shuffled back, as has Loris Heisemans. Where is Heisemans, in fact? I'm not sure he's even made it round the first corner, according to the telemetry. There is Loris Heisemans. Oh, what disaster for the Dutchman. Here comes teammates side by side. Kajaya up the inside of Grashov. That was a nice smooth move. Penelin got shuffled back as well, didn't he? He's in 7th position. Oh, and there's one of the B3 racing cars going into the pits in the back of the shot. Who is that? It Is it Borkovic continuing his awful weekend? It is Borkovic in the pits as his teammate goes up the inside for 9th position. Homela takes that from Grashov. Attila Tassi behind him, but Borkovic, one of the favourites coming into this season, is going to have 0 points at the end of the weekend. Tassi attacks Grashov and gets the position. So Tassi moves into the points. Grashov attacks back, bit of a shove on the exit of the corner. Oh, dearie me, is that an overheating issue for Dusan Borkovic? Lots of smoke coming from the radiator area. Here comes Afanasiev down the inside line. Easy pass from the Russian. And he's able to claim the track position as well, although he runs a little bit deep. And now Oriola is not quite close enough. Is actually defending from Morbidelli. Oriola's car does not look good. And look, even the drive off the corner, Morbidelli's able to go around the outside. Can he keep this? The next corner is a left-hander, so he has got the right part of the circuit. And Aku Pelnin, I think, is going to follow him through. Opens the door nice and wide for Pelnin. Little bit of contact, and Pelnin just needs to help him off. And Oriola goes into the grass and into the gravel. And loses another spot as well to David Kajaya. This is not going well at all for Pepe Oriola. Here comes Mato Homela down the inside of Oriola. Oriola still struggling with braking. Homela claims the apex, but will there be a switch back from Oriola? He hasn't got that much good drive out the turns. I wonder whether he doesn't have the tyres here. I wonder whether he was one of the guys that did the most amount of laps in free practice too. Francisco Mora being put on the wrong part of the circuit there by Attila Tassi, as Attila tries to defend his 11th position. Just out the points. Oh, and there's not much of a gap there for Francisco Mora, but Tassi kind of got frightened away by that. Now the switchback move down the inside through 11. He can stay side by side through 12, which is this left-hander. Then he's got the inside line. In fact, he completes the move even before he gets to that point. Oh, the Subaru is either pulled off or has spun off. Are the wheels able to turn? Yes, they are. So maybe that was a mistake from Luca Rangoni. See what happens. Well, brakes worked at the end there, didn't they? Maybe a slight understeer moment onto the grass and then no grip whatsoever. Vinay goes defensive on Sergei Afanasiev. Is there a switchback opportunity for the Russian? For the moment, but it's compromises speed, and Gianni Morbidelli looks down the inside through turn 3 and makes the move stick. Francisco Mora on Pepe Oriola. Oh, and Oriola nowhere near the apex. Gave it a lot of room. Mora moves up to 9th. Oriola down to 10th. Are we going to see Pepe drop out of the points here? I think we may do. Attention back on 3rd position. Vinay's going to have to defend. He's got a flappy floor, which isn't going to be helping him either. He's kind of half defending. He's not really sure where to go. Now he switches back onto the racing line. And again, no space for Gianni Morbidelli. He's suffering exactly the same as he did in race 1 on that straight. He does not have the power of the Volkswagen or of the Seat. I wonder where Jean-Carl Vinay's floor was damaged, because there's kind of a flat plane that's scooping up the air, and that air is then pulling the rear bumper off. Here comes Gianni Morbidelli down the inside into chicane. They're side by side. Vinay holds the inside line for the second part of the chicane and then forces him wide. Nice defensive move, nice clean racing between the two of these. Oh, Morbidelli has the inside line for a 12 though, and makes the move stick before the last turn. Vinay thinks he might have found a little bit of a hole down the inside of the last turn, but it's not advisable. How much of a front end has he still got in this car with 3 laps remaining? Whatever it is, he's given the advantage of Sergei Afanasiev, who's right in the slipstream. Nothing between the two of them as they come across the start and finishing line. Afanasiev moves early down the inside, and surely we have to claim the corner here. Brakes late, has the inside a little bit of a lock-up, but he's already down the inside and claims the apex and moves up into 4th position then. And Nasha is the master of a measured drive, and this is exactly what it's been. But either way, it's the first win for James Nash in the TCR International Series. The lights flash, 2 podiums in Bahrain, and then a win here in Estoril. And the results come. Nash from Kamini, from Morbidelli, the top 3. Sergei Afanasiev missing out on the podium in 4th position. John Calvinet shuffling down to 5th in the end. Akupelainen having a quiet run to 6th. Kajaya, Homola, Mora fighting up for more points in 9th, and Pepe Oriola taking 1 in 10th.
James Nash, 2 terrific results in Bahrain, but did you think your first win in TCR would come so soon?
Really pleased to have a win. Obviously after the Bahrain result and the extra kilos, it was always going to hurt us this weekend, but the team did a fantastic job in controlling the tyres, controlling me, and not running in FP1 and 2 to save some tyres, which gave us the opportunity to produce this win.
Confirmation of the points. It's a Honda on the top, with Gianni Morbidelli just 1 point ahead of James Nash now. Oriola drops 14 points behind, and Sergei Afanasiev stays there consistently in 4th position. In a couple of weekends' time, we go alongside the WEC Series, the World Endurance Championship. TCR will race on the Friday evening and the Saturday morning. Champagne sprays on the podium here in Estoril. Wonderful sights, wonderful racing. I cannot wait to bring you more action from the TCR International Series in a couple of weeks' time. Thank you for watching. We'll see you soon.